watch the sun come up and you see how magical it is. And, allow yourself to feel good about what you have in your own heart. You have a gift. And just, if if anybody tells you it's impossible, move on to other friends who are going to tell you it's possible, because it is possible.
The Kingston Canadian Film Festival proudly presents Rewind Fast Forward, a podcast where we chat with filmmakers about their work and the future of the Canadian cinema. My name is Thom Ernst. Welcome. Hello, this is Thom Ernst, and you are listening to the podcast Rewind Fast Forward. And today I'm very excited because we get to talk to a real giant in the industry, particularly in documentary filmmaking, Alanis Obomsawin. And the fact that Alanis is online with me now, I'm just going to jump right into this. The fact that you have time or are willing to take time to do a podcast because you're constantly working. So I remember, you may not remember this. We were in Kingston, you and I. There's actually a photo of us in one of the theaters together. Proud moment for me. You and I were, you were showing Our People Will Be Healed. And we're doing a Q&A, and I had to keep the Q&A rather short because you're already making your next documentary, which I believe was Jordan River Anderson, The Messenger.
Yes.
So dare I ask what you're working on now?
Oh la la! Right now, I'm working on 8 new films, but they're all short films. Plus, the film board is doing a coffret, a box set of so many of the films I've made. Wow. And plus bonuses. I'm telling you, night and day working is not long enough. It's very, very busy, but it's very exciting too.
I didn't do the math, but you are at a point in your life where a lot of people are slowing down and taking time for other things. It seems, not just with you, but with a lot of filmmakers, that filmmaking doesn't have a retirement date. You just continue working. Is it? Are you driven? Are you driven to continue working?
Oh yeah, I'm not forced to do what I'm doing. I love it, and I don't know. I'm going to be 89 next month. And I just don't have time to think of stopping, It's just, it's not so far. I'm very lucky because my health is very good. And I'm working all the time, and I love it. I'm not going to stop.
We're glad to hear that. But I also think at what's going on now, you have contributed so much to the culture that you identify as, and pushing forth the ideas both spiritually and physically about the indigenous culture. Stopping now would almost seem even more difficult, because you are at a point now, or at least politics are at a point now, where indigenous issues have come to the forefront. Do you see that? Yeah, that change?
There's a big change. I would say the last 10 years has been incredible, but even the last 5 years, it's very encouraging in terms of you have a feeling that in general, I think Canadians want to see justice to our people. So there's a lot of interest, and you feel that you're really listening to. And there's a lot more respect than we've ever had before. So this is no time to go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And you said even 5 years ago. I would say it's increased even like 5 months ago. Of course, with the horror news of the residential schools. But this is news that you've been trying to convey through your films and your talks and your music too.
Yes. So it's very encouraging, and I'm very excited because even yesterday we were having a Zoom with 5 or 6 indigenous people that are starting to make films, and it was so exciting because there's a lot of interest. A lot of young people want to do videos, and there's a very high interest for education, and that's the main important thing for me in my life. And so it's changed, and it's much more than hope. It's much more profound than that, what's happening. So I'm very thankful that I lived this long to see the difference and to see a lot of good people and people really interested and want a better life for what we've had in the past. So it's really wonderful.
You know, that better life you spoke of, were you able to find that for yourself?
Yes, it was, I've always been working, but yes, I've seen these are the reasons why I'm still working, because I see, for me, everything is possible. So, for years, and our people have always had a hard time to do what they felt that they would be good at, or free to take a road in their lives that is spiritually or even physically is healthy. And it's always been very difficult. And now the doors are open, and it's the contrary. It's possible. Anything our people want to do, it's possible. And the doors are open, and there's room in the place everywhere. All these institutions have special section now dedicated to indigenous people. So it's very exciting. I'm just, yeah.
Is it also exciting for the community? I mean, what's the feedback you're getting?
Oh, this people are excited. The young people today that will never go through what I've been through or what some of us have been through. It's the idea of feeling welcome and people listen to you and respect you. That's what we've been fighting for a very long time, and it's happening now. And there's encouragement. Even the languages, we used to be punished if we spoke our language. Mm-hmm. Now some universities are teaching some of these languages, and there's a lot of encouragement and money to encourage the communities to teach the language. So, it's incredible. It's so different. Yes.
I guess positive change is never too late in coming, but it does. Listening to you speak, and you give me little kernels, little hints of what life was for you in the struggle without being specific, and it kind of breaks my heart that it took so long. And you've been working at this for a good 40 years.
No, I've been working at it for 53 years.
I was going to say something like that, but I thought I played on the safe side. You've been at this for a long time, and for it to suddenly break the way it is, I mean, it can change be too late in coming?
Yeah, well, when you believe in something, I think it's for anyone. If you really strongly believe in something and in your heart you feel this is right and this is honest and it's justice, that's all you think about. I've been fighting for so many years, but I don't have to fight like I had to at this point now. Things are much easier. You can't compare. Mm-hmm. But so which means other people will never have to go through what I've been through, and this is the reason why I fought all this time. You want people to have a good place, like they deserve, and it's happening. It's possible. It's just so exciting.
It always is difficult speaking to when speaking to someone whose cultural influences have a huge effect on the work they do, because you are a filmmaker. Although you are a filmmaker. Your trade is in making film. You know about making film, but it's almost impossible to speak to you without making references to your cultural background. Does that become frustrating? Do you ever just want to say, "I'm a filmmaker. I'm not just a collection of my experiences"?
Yeah, I know what you mean. A lot of people, but for me, I don't care about that. I just want to get things done. I just want to get a better life for everybody. I want education to be fair, to be honest, and I want our people to have a nice place, especially children. I will do anything for children, and I mean all the children in the world. But certainly our children, I can't stand it if there is something dishonest or unfair or okay, just fight against that because
Mm-hmm.
when you go through a long part of your life making made to feel you don't belong, and all that what that goes with that, it's just so unhealthy.
You
So
you you haven't been shy about talking about your early like experiences at the NFB. You were
yeah,
certainly welcomed there and accepted there, but you said you have been quoted as saying it didn't come without uh, uh, racism. That racism still existed. So,
yeah. Well,
uh,
I don't think it'll ever die, but there's a lot of people that are not racist. That's what we have to concentrate on, because if you only think of the bad, that people make you feel bad, or they insult you, and they don't like you to be there, or they try to say you're inferior, all those things, it still exists. But at the same time, there's an awful lot of people that are different. They're good people, and would never make you feel like that. So I know that there's a lot of good people. I know that a lot of people want to see fairness and are not racist. So I try to always remember that. So when somebody is making me feel terrible, even today, at this time of my age, it happens that things happen that are terrible and they're racist and all that. But I don't concentrate on that. I think of the good part and how I've advanced and I've been able to make all these films, and I've influenced changes, and I'm continuing, and a lot of our people are making documentaries and fictions, and it's uh it's possible. And so when somebody addresses me, or of course I feel bad. If I say that I don't feel bad, I'm lying. But I don't stay there, because there's a tendency when especially in our case, like if you're constantly reminded, oh well, uh, you're not as smart as me, a lot of people feel that you're less than they are, and that's constant. So if you think of that, you almost become less, because you start believe what they say to you. You look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, but it's false. So and whenever this happens now, I go to the place in my heart where there is good, where people are wonderful to me, help me out in my work, and make life easier to do what I feel I have to do. That's what I switch there, because it makes you sick when people treat you that way.
do you remember anyone in particular who you felt encouragement from? Even, it could be a parent or maybe somebody at the NFB.
Well, there's lots of people that have helped me. There were times where my life was very difficult when I was a young person, and I was always in danger. It's a miracle that I didn't finally disappear like all the women that have. And I was always scared, and it was a terrible life. So, but even in those bad times, there was always somebody that I sometimes didn't even know would help me out.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, yeah.
Are you willing to elaborate on those bad times, or is that something you'd rather keep behind you?
It's past. I don't want to go back there.
Yeah.
It's yeah, but it's just that you have to teach yourself uh, to not allow people to destroy you. And sometimes it's almost impossible because it could be your parents, it could be friends, it could be people in your surrounding that give you very bad feelings all the time. So that's dangerous, and if you have to be not only strong, but you have to go into your heart yourself and
it's clear when we meet you, when we chat with you, when we see your films, of the strength that you have been able to summon up to get through whatever difficulties there were. Your films, each of them, I can't think of one that I've seen that doesn't sort of evoke a strength somehow. So it's not just about revealing the atrocities, but it's about overcoming those atrocities. Your films always seem to take that turn.
Yes. Yeah, because I certainly, this is the way I feel, and whenever just thinking, since I've been making films, I've had some very bad times at times, like to get the money to make it. Like for instance, when I first was working here, I had to raise money for every film I made. If I didn't raise money, I wasn't making any films, and the film board would match what I would get. So, it meant going around and begging for money, and you can only go to government agencies, and that's very, very humiliating and very hard to be working in this kind of atmosphere. I don't do that anymore, but I had to do it for a long time.
It does sound like that. Oh, sorry. Please continue.
So,
sorry.
it's just one of those things. It was very different when I started to work here. And not only that, I realized after a period of time, I was so used to racism and, I was always a sauvagesse and stuff like that. Then I discovered that there was another big problem, was the fact that I was a woman.
Yes.
And, in the past, before that, it was always because I was Indian, and, now it was incredible. I never had that feeling before that a woman, any woman, was under, and it was really a man's world and in those days for filmmaking. So we've seen a lot of changes there also. And so, people are, I think people in general, I would dare say that perhaps realize certain things that are wrong and try to do better. You can make mistakes and say, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that," or "I shouldn't have said that," and you learn by it to not do things that makes other people feel less or ugly, or all the things that follows. And you can change. I think some people can change, and because over the years I've met people and they say, "Oh man, I used to be so racist. My parents are racist, and now I think it's awful. They would never do any gesture like that anymore." So there's also that part that people make mistakes and then realize and become better people. And I really believe that that's possible also.
That kind of attitude, has that helped you in the way that you approach your subjects when making documentary films?
Oh, I don't know. Well, when I'm making documentary films, all my time, and I listen. Like I start by interviewing people, just sound, no image, and I'm always so touched and so fascinated by all the people that I've worked with and have told me their life stories and I concentrate on that. It's not work for me. I think it's an honor to just listen to people, and especially older people, because they have been in their own country that was so unfriendly to them for so long, for so many generations. And I'm fascinated to hear them talk about how they have lived and how you bring your children the values when all this is going around, and you have to worry about your children, who they're going to meet, and how are they going to be treated in school, and all those things. And to hear them talk about their lives and what they've done and how they have managed to be spiritually healthy and bring good feeling to their children, it's just incredible. And for some people, they've gone through so much bad times and for many reasons. And so I think our people are beautiful. I really think that, you know.
Yes. Listening to you makes me feel like people are beautiful as well. You are able to pass that energy along. I'm looking at some of the titles of your films, and listening to you now has reinforced my belief in people as well. You have that ability to share that kind of positivity. And I'm looking through your list of films now, and notice that how message is positive right from the get-go. Titles are "People Will Be Healed," 270 Years of Resistance, even Our Nationhood, and even a title like Trick or Treaty has my favorite title. There's an air of positivity about them. There's an air of strength in those.
Well, I'm glad, because Trick or Treaty, for instance, I felt that was a very important film, because when you talk a regular conversation, if you say the word treaty, say, treaty. Don't talk about that. It doesn't exist anymore. It has no meaning. Well, I'm sorry, but every day of our lives, the treaties have a big meaning. And I wanted to really explain what is a treaty, how they were done, and why. And I think Trick or Treaty, it really explains well. I'm always thinking of education, to have people understand what that means, and then it's learning, and it means the history of this country, and it was falsely used in the classroom for so many generations. Yeah, that's why I'm here. But when I got beat up so much when I was a child, and I was the only Indian in that school and in the town. And at one point, I don't know how old I was, but I began to realize when I was 12, I became dangerous, because I thought nobody's going to beat me anymore.
Good for you.
But I realized that there was something very bad, very wrong in the educational system. And that not only that, but the books they were using to teach the history of Canada was written by the church. And if you were reading this today, like you would say, I said that to myself, these books were written to make sure there would be hate created to our people all across this country. And that's exactly what they did. And I felt, oh my God, what could I do in my life to get rid of those books? And so by the time I was, I don't know, maybe 16, I could sing, and I thought the children have to hear another story.
At 16.
And that's how I started. Yeah. Oh, even more than before that, but before to do the gesture, to really do things, I started with Scouts, and I would tell stories. And by then I was older. I would go with scouts, tell stories, and play games, and show them Indian games, and go to the bush and trees and things like that. And then it didn't take very long. I started going to the classroom, and I've done hundreds of school, not dozens of school, hundreds of school in this country for quite a few years. And I enjoyed every minute of it. And people said to me at that time, "You're crazy. You're working with children. They beat you up." I said, "Yeah, but children are not born racist. They learn that from their parents or other adults, and they become nasty. And if they hadn't been told this teaching ways and this way of talking about the people of this country the way they do, the children wouldn't be like that." So this is and I was right. If there's one thing I did that was right, that was it.
You've done a lot right.
No, it's true that children, you're teaching them, and you're teaching them to hate. That's terrible. And so I've seen and played with hundreds of children all over this country, and I love them. I know that children are not bad. They see bad things, and maybe if you're sitting in the kitchen of your house and you start talking against people that are not white, black people, savages, Indian people, what do you think those children are going to think the next day? They go to school and they see me and they just want to beat me. That's that's the way it was.
I hope, and this is probably a self-serving question, because I just want to believe that somebody during your childhood, while you're going to school, that a teacher or another student befriended you, that there was some that there was some sort of light for you. This is just me hoping for a little clearer, little bright light in the darkness. But was there? Or
it was not very much. It was just humiliation, really.
I'm sorry.
And menacing. So
how do you pull yourself out of that without someone to guide you, without someone to was it maybe your parents, or was it a relative? Was there someone that you could look to? Because pulling yourself out of that is really, really is a super feat. It's a power that I just don't. I personally can't comprehend.
Yeah, well, I know that's the way it was, and it took quite a while. When my father died, I was 12 years old, and I remember thinking, nobody's going to beat me anymore. You should see, I made all my laws. So I thought, when I'm going back to school, this time, I'm going to always stand by the brick wall. I don't move from the brick wall. So when they come, at least there's nobody behind me. I was thinking of all those details. And guess what? I did exactly that. And I managed to, I'm telling you, I became a real devil. I wouldn't allow anybody to insult me or
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's a devil. I'm not sure that's being a devil. I think maybe that's being an angel. Just, the self-preservation, looking after yourself. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I'll tell you something now. I can say this and I don't cry. But in the classroom, as soon as the teacher would open her l'histoire du Canada, the history of Canada, I knew I was going to get beat up that day. So I told myself, when this happened, and I was sort of at the end of the line, my eyes are going to see everybody, because all the kids used to turn around and make fun of me. So, and I used to put the book in front of my face so I didn't see them. So I said, this time you're not going to put the book on your face. And the first one who turns around, that's the one you're going to go flying there, beat her up. And that's exactly what I did in the classroom. And the nun was so shocked and so surprised she didn't react, at first. And then after that, I had my hands on my hip and I say, "Who's next?" And I was very skinny, and not a tall person. But I guess it was just nerves, you know.
And determination.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's I didn't run away,
I think if you ever write your autobiography, I hope you call it "Standing by a Brick Wall." I think that would be a.
Oh, that's funny.
I hope you do, because I hope you write that book, because I want to know so much more about this. I one of the times we did get to meet at length was when you were honored. Well, when you won, it was the honor of the people who gave it to you, the Toronto Film Critics Association, when you won the Clyde Gilmer Award, and you gave a lovely talk about and about a filmmaker, a young filmmaker who you admired. And who was that, and how's that person doing?
It was Amanda Strong.
Yes,
she does stop motion figures. It's wonderful. Like, I gave the surplus $50,000 worth of work from. I don't remember all the names now.
Yeah, William White, I think. Yeah,
and it was fantastic, and she's doing very well, and she just had a baby now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. So that was wonderful.
It was a wonderful evening, and it's so great to get that up, able to chat with you. But I do remember how moving your talk was, and now that you say Amanda Strong, the name comes back to me clearly. I remember that as well. You mentioned at the beginning of our conversation young filmmakers, and I assume you meant indigenous filmmakers that are rising now because of your work and because of political reform and arts council's reform. Is there anybody now, Amanda Strong aside, who you're interested in what they're doing and the kind of work that's coming out?
There's so much going on with so many people. Yesterday I was on a Zoom thing with about 5 or 6 young filmmakers, and it was so nice. Like there was a young guy from Kanehsatake who was talking. I think it's his first film. Who was talking a lot about what he wants and what it means to him. And I said, "Oh my God, isn't this wonderful?" Mm-hmm. They're in a place they can really express themselves. This would have never happened in our case a long time ago. I get to not be afraid to tell your ideas, or it's open. You can think of anything, any subject, or any ways of working, whether it's animation, documentary, fiction, whatever. And it just makes me feel so good. I say, "Oh my God, it's so much better for them. It's wonderful." So, what can I do? I'm just lucky that I lived this long and I see this, and it just makes me feel so good.
Yeah, I could tell you for hours the invaluable contribution you made. Your humility and humbleness sort of doesn't allow for that kind of talk. You don't. Maybe you embrace it, but you don't do it visibly, and you always sort of toss it back out to other people and other filmmakers. I do want to say before we wrap things up, just absolutely how grateful I am for your films. If Alanis Obomsawin film is at a festival, I don't miss it. Whether it's at the Toronto Film Festival, at the Kingston, whatever. Just know that it's going to be a great film. So thank you so much for your years of work.
Thank you for your interest, and all the ones that are hearing this. Believe you me, my life is so much better than it was when I was a young girl, And for any of you having any kind of hard times, just tell yourself it's not going to continue. Time's going to change. There's going to be a better day. Watch the sun come up and you see how magical it is. And, allow yourself to feel good about what you have in your own heart. You have a gift. And just, if anybody tells you it's impossible, move on to other friends who are going to tell you it's possible, because it is possible.
And I'll add to that by saying, make sure you stand by the brick wall.
First time someone says that to me.
I
am writing a book.
Oh, good. Is it a memoir?
Yes. It's very hard, but I am doing it.
Well, I'm glad, and I will be certainly at the book launch. It happens in Toronto or Kingston. I will go to Kingston if it's there too. Thank you so much. I really look forward to meeting you again. Continued success. 8 short films you're working on. Oh, before I let you go, I got to ask: I know you've done some shorts that doesn't specify whether they're documentaries or not. Have you thought about making a fiction film?
A fiction film? Mm-hmm. I made a few for children. There's one fiction film that is called When All the Leaves Are Gone. That's about me as a little girl being beaten up. Yeah. And there's another one, so far I've made 53 films. Siguanis. It's a story about a little girl and her friendship with bears.
Mm. Yeah. And that's animated too.
It's all it's not animated in the sense of animation, but it's all the personages who play the bears. They all have masks that I made, and it's the children love it. It's so it's a connection with animals, and in this case, it's the bears, and how you become friends with bears as if you are with your friends as humans, and it's really quite nice.
Well, again, thank you so much. I look forward to your next film. I look forward to our next meeting.
Thank you, and everyone have a good day. Tell yourself you're happy to be alive, because life is sacred for all, and it's quite a gift to be given life. So have a nice day.
Thank you.
A huge thank you to our guest, Alanis Obomsawin. You can find out more about Alanis's future projects and filmography in the show notes. Rewind Fast Forward is hosted by Thom Ernst and produced with original theme music by Moira Demorest. Support for this podcast comes from the Kingston Canadian Film Festival, which is situated on the traditional homeland of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Huron-Wendat. This podcast is generously funded by the Canada Council for the Arts. Thanks for listening.